no way.
I imagine myself one day being an 80-year-old.
I love the cosplay though. The people who do cosplay, they are so incredibly brave. Can you imagine being so brave that you dress up as the character that you like so much? That's incredible.
I'm forever thankful.
And I can't wait to see what the next generation.
Doomfist. I wouldn't do the Murloc thing. I would not do that. Yeah, no. Not this year. Not this year. No. Nope. Not this year, Blizzard. I'm sorry, but I'm not doing that this year. Here we go.
Welcome to BlizzCon Line, a celebration of 30 years of Blizzard communities and 30 years of Blizzard games. 30 years is so many years, and last year maybe felt like one of the longest of all. But throughout the years of Blizzard Entertainment, from 1991 to today, many of us can associate certain games with milestones in our lives. Maybe
he's got them
you were a
skinny
little kid
jeans on, you know?
the first time you played the Lost Vikings. Or in high school, when you first played a Diablo game.
See, I actually read
Or
that
maybe
there
you
was
met
this
your
article
partner
written
while
from
you were
one of the
playing
early
World
developers
of
of Blizzard,
Warcraft.
and they
That's the
said
awesome
that
thing
these
about video
developers, that
games.
these guys who you
They
see,
give us
they're not
experiences
actually involved
that
in
are
any of the
relevant
games
to the
anymore.
times in
That
our
they have a
lives,
crew of people
experiences
who work
that
on
we
all the
carry forward
games,
with
and
us.
these people aren't
Games
actually
are here
involved
for us
anymore with
during
anything.
good times.
And they, I mean, they,
Here for
you know, they're
us
there,
even when we
but
feel
they
alone.
don't, they aren't sitting in front of the
Maybe
computer, you know, doing the code and
Games are coming
designing
home.
everything anymore.
Familiar, comfortable,
That's why there's a lot of people who
connection
believe that
and a sense
Blizzard
of
and a
belonging.
lot of other companies
And
have
while
a
many of us
huge
spent
disconnect
most of
from the player
2020
base today
in our
because they're no
actual
longer doing
real-life
that kind of
homes,
stuff.
Games became even more of a place to get away, to be free from outside concerns, even if just for a little while. So, this is pretty weird. Usually, when we start BlizzCon, the opening call is to my favorite Warcraft faction, the Alliance. Or my favorite faction, the Horde. I get confused. Usually,
He doesn't
I'd be
even play
speaking to
World of Warcraft,
40,000
I'd
of you in
imagine.
person at the Anaheim Convention Center, and millions of you around the world. And usually, that would be a perfect way to celebrate.
Yeah.
But nothing about the last year has been usual. The pandemic has been hard on everyone, and for many different reasons. But if there's one thing that the last year has taught us, it's that being apart physically doesn't stop us from moving forward. It doesn't stop us from connecting with our player friends around the world, diving in as warriors and heroes, and checking on each
Isn't
other
he
as
the
humans.
he's the head person?
It doesn't stop us
He's the head person
from
at
sharing
Blizzard,
our
I thought.
latest epic gaming story. We're celebrating those of others. Games continue to unite us.
Is it too loud or
Now-
too quiet?
To be honest, I wasn't sure how well Blizzard could work from home. There are thousands of people, all needing to work together in creating our universes, games, and experiences.
Because I can turn it up.
Never has it felt more true that it takes a Blizzard to make a Blizzard game.
Like, oh,
And in 2020, it isn't just tied to a physical location.
there we go.
It's tied to the people who work here, and I continue to be so proud of each and every one of them. Thank you, Blizzard. We create these games and pour all of our energy and heart into them, but it is you, the Blizzard community, that brings them to life. And that's why BlizzCon Line is a celebration of you, the guild leaders, healers, DPS, tanks,
Thank you.
innkeepers,
Innkeepers.
Zerg, Terran, Protoss, Blackwatch, Shimada, the heroes of Sanctuary, and of the store. These next few days are for you, our Blizzard community.
Cool, cool.
The World of Warcraft. We'll be showing you what's next for both Shadowlands and Classic. I'm sure you're all burning in anticipation for that one. Hearthstone is getting back to its roots in a major way.
Really?
We can't wait to show you how. We also have news for our Diablo community.
Right.
Some of you were able to dip your toes into the depths of hell in the Diablo Immortal Technical Alpha. I really enjoyed seeing players embrace
That's the mobile game. The mobile one.
We can't wait for more of you to get your hands on.
Yeah.
So
that everyone didn't want. That nobody wanted.
And already there is so much to look forward to, even though we can't yet be together in person. The Overwatch League.
Talk about fucking something up.
In spring.
Fucking something up.
We'll be watching closely to see if the San Francisco Shock can continue their championship run. World of Warcraft esports is back with the Arena World Championship and Mythic Dungeon International already in full swing in Shadowlands.
Huh.
StarCraft 2
That's
and
Overwatch
Warcraft 3
there.
Esports are going strong with our friends at the ESL Pro Tour. And qualifiers are already underway for the first online stop of the 2021
That guy was like, is this going to be ported over to PC? And the guy's like, no, we're not going to port it over to PC. Why would you want it on PC?
Before we get too far ahead.
Yeah.
Let's take a look one last time. Twin times were a little simpler. In the early 1990s, the internet was a baby. CD sales had finally eclipsed cassette tapes. Cassette tape, it's a rectangle piece of plastic, and there's a tape inside, and music would get recorded on, and sometimes you needed a pencil to
rewind it. Okay, old man.
Sounds crazy.
Okay, old man.
We're all playing video games.
Use a pencil to
Super Nintendo,
rewind it real quickly.
Sega Genesis, DOS, or Mac PCs. I personally was a master of config.sys.
I'm just trying not to stare at his nuts.
So many simple things.
Trying not to.
Times.
Kind of.
If only we could relive them.
How about you?
The stage is set.
If only, what are they going to do?
Let the carnage begin. Holy Toledo! What a collection!
Wow, they're going to. Is it going to be free, or are they going to release it? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. No, it'll be on the Blizzard app. It'll be on the Blizzard app.
What a play! Crank up the volume!
That's exactly what Capcom did with Street Fighter.
Unbelievable! Whoa!
Together for the first time in one collection. Well, that's going to be on the Blizzard app. There's no way it's not going to be on the Blizzard app. Oh, wait. Xbox One? Oh.
The Blizzard Arcade Collection, featuring the Lost Vikings, Rock and Roll Racing, and Blackthorn. These are ports of the games just as you remember them, allowing you to relive the original experience of all three titles
Oh, cool.
in 13 different languages, with a couple of quality of life upgrades. As an example, we include very modern, cutting-edge functionality that wasn't available in the early 90s, both saving and loading of games.
Oh.
And for those of you who purchased any Blizzard Digital Anniversary Bundle via Battle.net, you'll automatically receive the Blizzard Arcade Collection on PC today.
Hey! Not me.
Now.
Not me.
You ready to hear about some other video games?
Yes.
Let's hear what's next for World of Warcraft.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. No matter where you are, World of Warcraft unites us.
Burning Crusade. They said I imagined it was going to be on the Blizzard app, but that's if you bought the thing.
I'm glad you could
you know,
make it, because we've got a lot of
the
good
Blizzard
stuff to show you.
anniversary package.
But first, let's start with some Covenant pride. Kyrian, take flight. Nightfay, let the hunt begin.
Oh man.
Necrolords, to war!
Oh god.
Cynthia, let's party. The world has thrown a lot at us since the last BlizzCon. And the thing that's really kept everyone going on the WoW team has been connecting with all of you.
Wow.
The bonds we forge with our
Yeah, a
guilds
little
and
cringy.
family,
I mean, I know
friends,
cringe, but that's a
WoW
little cringe.
Powerful
You know.
and real. As WoW enters its 16th year, and
16
Blizzard celebrates
years.
its 30th anniversary.
I would
the Star
totally
Trek
play.
have the most
I would play
dedicated
Wrath of the
and
Lich King.
friendly
Wrath of the
community
Lich King. I would play that expansion
recap the
because
events
that's the
in
expansion
Azeroth.
that I
WoW
really
fought
delve
an
into
endless
or
battle
dove
for
into when it was
South Shore
released.
and Torren Mill. We banded together to open the gates of Ahn'Qiraj and joined forces to take down Kel'Thuzad in his floating citadel of Naxxramas.
Yep,
In Shadowlands, we helped our Covenant recover from the anima drought.
that's true.
brought
With
on
no
by
live
Sire
audience, it is a little
Denathrius,
worse.
Master of the Vinthier and traitor to the Pantheon of Death. We survived the halls of Torghast and crafted legendary gear in our efforts to expel Denathrius from his castle lair. But innocent souls are still wrongfully being sent to the Maw. They face an eternity of torment, and heroes like Anduin remain chained in its depths.
Yep.
The jailer continues to grow in power. He's preparing to break free from the Maw and complete his plan to unmake the entire Warcraft universe. And Sylvanas, you may be wondering what she's been up to all this time. Today, we're excited to unveil our first major content
Oh, here we go.
for Shadowlands, Chains of Domination.
No, this is going to be. They're going to talk about everything new here. So everything new is going to be in the opening ceremony.
Look around you.
What makes you believe you're not just a weapon to achieve his ends?
Enough! Join our cause, or be made to serve.
Right now, you hold all the power. Make your choice, Sylvanas Windrunner.
Okay. Just gonna.
Despite all our efforts, the Maw continues to grow. What if Denathrius' treachery is irreparable? The Primus is lost, and Bastion cannot save the Shadowlands alone.
None of this should have happened.
Perhaps the Winter Queen could.
My Archon, a living soul seeks an audience.
A mortal?
A king.
What?
By all our measures, one who has spent his life striving for justice.
Whoa!
One who would give anything to serve his people. One whose heart is true.
Very well.
That was Uther, yeah. This is awesome. I stopped playing World of Warcraft. It just didn't,
Step forward.
you know, it wasn't where I was.
My
It wasn't where I
ascendant
needed to be,
spoken.
you know?
The king, held captive in the Maw.
That prison could not hold me forever.
Why have you come to Bastion?
You have a key that I need.
You will release this soul from your grasp.
No.
Whoa.
He is bound to me, just as you
Was sought to bind your own brother.
No, I'm pretty sure that was Anduin. Really? Really?
The vessel performed its part flawlessly. 3 keys remain. Then they will see. Death was never meant to be chained.
Wow. So he turned Anduin into a Lich King, into like the embodiment of like a Lich King. Wow. Damn. I wonder if they're going to kill off Anduin. Do you think they're going to kill him off? Get rid of him?
That is so intense. I know you probably have a lot of questions about what you just saw and what it means for the next stage of your Shadowlands.
She just
journey.
disappeared.
Later
Tyrande
today,
jumped
my
down and
teammates
just completely
Ian and
left
Jeremy
everybody.
We'll be telling you more about Chains of Domination in our Shadowlands update.
She
Please
went
check
feral?
out
Yeah,
the
she just...
World of Warcraft channel to find out more.
Yep.
Next, I'm excited to share our upcoming World of Warcraft charity pet program. We've heard a lot from our community about how much they love these pets and the opportunity to give to a good cause, along with ideas to make the program even better.
I bought the very first World of Warcraft pet I ever bought was the Pandaren. The Pandaren mount. Not mount, the pet. Pandaren pet. And I think it was to breast cancer awareness. It's like you pay $10 for it, and I don't know if it was all of it went to breast cancer awareness or just $5.
And to make this a
that was
fun
the first one I
challenge,
bought.
If we reach a stretch goal, everyone gets a second pet too.
What?
And here they are.
Wait, what?
The first pet is Bananas. Literally. He was originally available to a select few back in Burning Crusade era, so we're excited to give everyone a chance to adopt him.
Okay.
And if we reach our stretch goal, you'll also get Daisy the Sloth. She's an all-new pet who'll hang around your neck when you need a hug.
Oh, wow.
Your donations during this campaign will go to support the medical humanitarian organization Doctors Without Borders, also known by their French name, Médecins Sans Frontières, or MSF. They're an amazing group doing important work around the world.
Yeah, I like the sloth. I like the idea that they're letting the pets interact with you, because that's something that Final Fantasy XIV did. Final Fantasy XIV, where you could like beckon your pet over, and it would crawl up and get on your shoulder.
We've talked quite a bit about Shadowlands. Classic players, now it's your turn. It's my pleasure to hand off to my teammate, Holly Longdale. She's a long-time WoW player.
I thought he was about to say something else, like Holly Longdick. I was like, Holly Longdick. That's a hell of a name. I could get behind a woman with that kind of name. Wow. Damn, she's tall.
First, I'd like to thank all of you who have ever been part of the WoW community over the years.
She's tall.
You know, online worlds like WoW have been a huge part of our lives for decades now. As a dedicated MMO fan and a developer myself, I remember hearing that Blizzard was going to be making their own MMO. And I thought, well, I guess I'll check out that beta.
It is in
sure,
her name.
We all call the game WoW. But really, wow. I could not believe I got bit by the MMO bug again. I was so excited to be able to make a Night Elf Hunter and be like that famous Dark Elf Ranger from the books that I loved. I have to tell you, Azeroth was, and still is, a place I love to live. Since last year, I've had the great honor
You
to
think
work
she
alongside
actually
the WoW
plays
Classic
World of
team
Warcraft today?
to bring these nostalgic
I don't think that she
experiences
plays it
back to
today.
life
I don't think that
for
any of these
longtime
people
fans
actually
and a
play
whole
these
new
games.
generation of players.
I don't think there's any of these old school WoW developers play World of Warcraft. I don't think the developers for Overwatch, I don't think they actually play Overwatch. And I know I don't think that I know that she doesn't play World of Warcraft.
All the way to the absolutely staggering.
I don't believe that.
When I jumped blindly through the dark portal and was running through Hellfire Peninsula, heard this terrifying noise, and then saw the Fel Reaver. Biggest roamer I had ever seen, and I was very glad
Fel
I
Reaver,
had feigned death in that moment. And that's the thing about WoW. These stories and experiences
But you can't go back and relive
keep us
that.
coming back
You
time
can't go back and relive nostalgia.
With that said,
You're never
I'm
going to get to
super
experience
excited
that
to be able to
again.
share with you
You may think you can go back and relive it, but you can't go back and relive it. You can't do it. Her neck is shriveled up? Yeah, but she's just an older woman. Older people have that kind of stuff. I don't have that kind of stuff.
You dare.
But I'm just saying, older people do. Turn it down a little bit. Yeah, but you know. Yeah, let me turn this down. So I played Classic for a couple of days, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to get into it. I've been there, I've done that, I've died to Murlocs a million times, I bought the wrong weapon, I bought a weapon for a shaman that I couldn't actually end up using, and I had run all the way to another city to try to learn how to use that weapon, and it turned out that my class couldn't learn that weapon. I've done all that before, and I don't want to have to relive it, I don't want to redo it. If I'm going to play World of Warcraft, I'm going to play the modern version of it, you know? And I have a lot of respect for people who dedicate themselves to play the classic version, but it's just not for me. It's not my state of mind. And I don't even have the state of mind to play today's version of World of Warcraft. It just didn't hold on to me, you know?
Brings back so many memories, right? Like exploring the fungal forests of Zangarmarsh, or being awestruck at the chaotic magic alive in Netherstorm.
Back in the day, it was really cool to level up your weapon that you just got, but today it's not so cool to spend, you know, days leveling up, punching and your new weapons and stuff.
We can't forget gathering all your friends to fight Illidan at the top of the Black Temple. I can't wait to relive it all with you. Since the team first set out on their own
I wasn't
quest
paying
to bring
attention.
the
She might have.
original WoW back to life, we have learned a ton about what players are expecting from this kind of experience. We've also learned when to keep things just as they were and where we all might be open to some changes. We're bringing all these lessons into Burning Crusade Classic, with our primary goal to bring back the same feeling you had when you faced the Fel Reaver for the first time, or when you were digging through piles of Felhound poop. Of course, we can't get this right without you, our incredible community.
But you can't, you can't
be able to revisit Outland
re-experience the first time you heard the Fel Reaver. You can't experience that again. You can't experience when that quest. I know what she's talking about. The quest where you have to dig through poop. You have to, piles of shit. You have to dig through it to get these quest items. I remember that, but unless somebody has never done that before, you're not going to be able to relive it.
With your one WoW subscription. Now, I know I've thrown a lot at you, but don't worry. We'll be getting into the details.
It's not a lot of stuff
today.
because we've already done all of it.
We'll make sure you are
Yeah,
prepared.
I mean, but it's a really great quest, and I agree with her that it's memorable because you have to dig through piles of crap to get the item. But we've already did it. We've already done it. But I like the Shadowlands content. That looked really good. And I never got into Hearthstone, and I should have got into Hearthstone. I should have got into Hearthstone like 5 years ago, and I should have stuck with it, but I didn't. And now I feel bad about it.
Let's take a quick look back.
I really wish I had stuck with it.
Of the Phoenix. We added our first new class, the Demon Hunter, and ventured into the ruthless Outlands. Then we went to Skullman's Academy and got to explore dual class cards
and their powerful synergies. And with our third expansion of the year, we brought you Hearthstone's biggest update.
My brother is really into Hearthstone, and when I was down in Orlando, he actually helped me build my deck, and he showed me how to like play the heroes, and I won a bunch of games. And he actually made a couple of YouTube videos, and they were really popular. Like he did a handful of them, and for the ones that he did, they were popular because he knows what he's talking about.
It's time to say farewell to the Year of the Phoenix and see what's in store for Hearthstone this year. Welcome to the year.
I'd have to look him up.
Of the Griffin.
He doesn't do a camera. I don't think he does a camera. It's just audio.
We've made big changes to Hearthstone. Throughout the Year of the Griffin, we want to keep delivering fun, new experiences and make sure
I'm jealous of this guy's hair.
Millions of you playing Hearthstone
I'll have to look it up.
to log in.
I'll ask him to see if he's okay with me showing it. I've never asked him about it before.
Ever. With the launch of the core set later this year. The core set replaces the old basic and classic sets with a collection of 235 cards made up of some of the best from throughout the years.
235 cards.
As well as 29 awesome brand new cards. And the best thing about the core set is that it's entirely free. So, there's never been a better time to get into Hearthstone. Here are 3 of Hearthstone's legendary dragons.
Well, I'm kind of interested in this stuff because
and competitive for modern
there's really nothing else that I wanted to do today.
Ysera the Dreamer. You'll finally receive her full arsenal of dream cards right away. She's a nightmare for your opponents.
The only reason I went live at 3 instead of 4 was I should have just waited till like 4 o'clock. Overwatch, man, Overwatch just kind of it takes so much effort with Overwatch, so much fucking effort.
Black Dragon, Deathwing. He's still as destructive as ever, but timed correctly, he won't leave you empty-handed. We'll also be launching a brand new format, Classic, where you can play Hearthstone as it was when it first launched.
Oh.
The Classic format will be fully supported, complete with ranks and rewards using Hearthstone's original set of cards.
Oh, wow.
So, if you want to
classic,
relive the old school experience, then Classic is the place for you. With Classic revisiting the past, now let's take a look to the future and explore the first expansion of the Year of the Griffin.
For a hero of the Horde, all roads lead to the crossroads. You have come for
Classic. Yeah, they're going to do it. They're going to do it.
But the Barons wants to break you. Your axe.
Oh God.
Sharp. Your wits must be keen.
Whoa.
And your heart must be mighty.
So this is the next expansion. I should really have gotten into Hearthstone. Sometimes I do feel bad that I didn't get into it.
Strength and honor. This is who we are.
Is it going to be a Horde? Oh, it's going to be a Horde expansion. Forged in the Barrens. Interesting. Interesting.
That's
Overwatch should be
we're heading
next.
to one of Warcraft's most iconic locales, the Barrens, and we'll come face to face with the heroes that inhabit it. Starting with one of the Horde's most iconic and well-known characters.
It's going to be a female?
A fierce loyalist, one-time war chief that embodies the
I guess
honor,
not.
loyalty, and spirituality.
I just assumed that they were
of
going to
the
do
Horde.
a female character.
Shadowhunter Vol'jin.
Ooh.
Shadowhunter
He's
Vol'jin
dead, by the
is
way.
a neutral legendary that allows you to either bolster your own board or weaken that of your opponents. And to celebrate the announcement of Forged in the Barrens, this card is available for free for everyone later today.
Nice.
So log into Hearthstone and claim your free copy of Shadowhunter Vol'jin. And as a bonus, we're also giving
I love
away
Baron
a
chat,
brand
man.
new
I remember.
30
See, that's
years
another thing.
Blizzard card.
I remember the chat in the Barons.
We have another
I
hero
remember, like, where the hell, like, the quest line would say, go to the cave on the north side of the mountains. And you open the map and you were like, they're all fucking mountains. They're all mountains. Which one am I supposed to go to? Like, it says, go to the north side of the blah blah thing. And you're like, there's nothing up there. I went up there. And then you had to go to look to Wowhead or Thoughtbot.
like Thrall are known for their
They're like, oh, well, okay, now I see where it is. Like, go to where the harpies are and take a right. There are harpies everywhere up there. That doesn't help.
a new cycle of cards.
Do you remember Crossroads? Yeah, I remember Crossroads.
When you have 5 and 10 mana.
I never, when I played that, I never played Horde, and I didn't play on PvP. Well, no, I did play Horde. I played a little bit of Horde.
With Forts in the Barrens,
But I never took it, like, I never went, like, above level 20.
across the entire game, which enables a whole
I
host of
remember, this is one of my
exciting
earliest
new
memories. One of my earliest memories with World of Warcraft is where I had this character, and I had found a pair of shoulder pads. In the game, I'd found a pair of shoulder pads, and I was super happy. And then I said, you know what, I feel like making a new character. So I made a new character, and I was really disappointed that I was like 5 levels higher than what my other character, and I never could find any shoulder pads. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I've got to go back to my character with shoulder pads.
strategic RPG
Oops, damn it.
gameplay, where you build teams consisting of some of the most iconic
Oh, no, I do remember
heroes and
that.
villains from the
I do
Warcraft
remember when somebody would come in and kill all the NPCs.
timeless characters like the infamous Sylvanas Windrunner and Ragnaros, the elemental lord of fire. You can also expect to see some of Hearthstone's fan favorites, like the unstoppable Devilsaur,
Ooh.
King Crush, and the ever-growing Gruul the Dragon Slayer. You'll lead them in battle through highly replayable roguelike missions, where the map is randomly generated every time you play, and each node represents a unique challenge for your team to take on. Your heroes gain levels, new abilities, equipment, and can even evolve into more powerful versions of themselves. We're thrilled to finally show you Hearthstone Mercenaries. It is scheduled to launch later this year, and we'll have more to share with you down the road. Everything you've seen today is just a taste of what's coming in the Year of the Griffin.
Roguelike card game,
So
yeah.
don't forget to tune in to our deep dive panel after the opening ceremony, where we'll
So all
share
this stuff
more
is
details
pre-recorded,
on
and
the
they're just
core
doing
set,
this
the
first
new
hour,
classic
then you can
format,
go watch
Forts
the
in
other stuff.
Barrens, and our plans for Battlegrounds and Duels, as well as our upcoming single-player content. I want to thank the team for their amazing work. And on behalf of all of us at Hearthstone, we want to thank the many millions of you who play our game. Your dedication and support is what drives us to make awesome updates and pursue ambitious and fun ideas. We can't wait to kick off the Year of the Griffin with all of you, and we hope to see you in the game soon. Next up, you'll get an update on all things Diablo.
Oh, shit. They're going to save Overwatch to the very end. The very end. Wow.
Hey everyone, thank you very much for joining us.
That cinematic made me buy Diablo 3 and play it.
Diablo segment of our show, and I am honored to be here on behalf of all of our Diablo teams to share the news and updates we have in store for you today. We've got a lot.
Oh, he's all tatted up.
And I hope you'll agree with me that it's a great time to be a member of this community. All right, let's kick things off with Diablo 4. We first shared our game with you during Blizzcon of 2019, and we've been truly humbled by your response. We've kept in touch through quarterly updates and sincerely appreciate the thoughts and valuable feedback you've provided as we unveil more and more of the game and share in its development. After all, Diablo belongs to you as much as it belongs to us. Most recently, we teased an update to our campfire screen, and savvy fans
He has a
of course
tattoo that says
understood that we
vegan.
meant more than just the character lighting and fire visual effects. That's right. Today, we're happy to announce a brave new soul joining the barbarian, the sorcerer, and the druid on this dangerous journey
Ooh.
back to Sanctuary.
New class.
A class is one of the most exciting things you can announce in a Diablo game. This one
So far,
is
all those
especially
leaks
exciting to
are
me,
accurate.
as it's a
So far.
re-envisioning of one of the first classes to ever appear in the series. Let's have a look.
So what's it going to be? Is it the bard? Oh, that'd be cool. I like the idea of bards. I played a bard in Final Fantasy XI. Not the same, but still.
There is justice within the light. But you have to be patient. Now, pray with me.
Now pray with me.
May Akarat guide and protect me.
May Akarat guide and protect me.
Inquisitor, maybe.
Shepherd my soul.
May he shepherd my soul.
And grant it mercy.
And grant it mercy.
What are you doing here? This is not the time.
But this is confession. And I have sinned. I was a thief who stole from those more fortunate. I strayed from your light.
Uh-oh.
And found my trade in the shadows.
What is
they
it?
call it murder. I say, job well done.
Is it a thief? Could be a thief.
I am a thief.
No.
A heretic. A murderer. Father. Will Akarat save me?
You mock our light. But those monsters were a scourge upon my flock. And you were the answer to their prayers.
Then we are settled. And you owe me.
This must be an in-game cinematic.
The name you see is...
Yeah, this must be an in-game cinematic because the quality...
Thank the heavens for you.
The graphics are nice.
I assure you, Father. The heavens didn't send me.
Rogue. No bard. Wow. Look cool. I mean, it looked awesome. This must be an an in-game cinematic because it doesn't have the same quality as that first Diablo 4 trailer, and it looks very in-game. Like the texture's very low. Wow. Yeah.
Just the sound of that ear getting pierced by the hook is so brutal. I feel like it's gonna haunt me for a long time.
He likes ears? Yeah, but you know that was starting to smell after a while.
Rogue ever since the original Diablo. Even seeing them come back as NPCs and mercenaries in Diablo 2's Rogue Encampment served as a great bridge between the games. With the setting of Diablo 4 being a larger world than we've ever played in before, we're excited to show you not just what the successors to the original rogues in the series have been up to since the fall of their order, but also what some of the other rogues in the world of Sanctuary might look like. The mantra for Diablo 4 has been customization first, and the rogue takes this to a whole new level.
Hey, Lulu, what do you think about this camera angle? Do you think it looks okay? I kind of like it. One of the reasons I did this was to keep my desk from shaking the camera. I kind of like it because, especially if I have like my arcade stick here, you can see my hands moving. But you've been here for a long time, so maybe your opinion might be different. I don't know. It looks good. It shows more of the beard. Cool. I like it. I think it looks nice. It's just I got it higher up, and I don't have to worry about bumping it, and you know, looks good. Kind of looks it kind of looks like I'm on a talk show or a podcast or something. You know, it kind of feels that way.
As well as some of the open world gameplay that we're bringing to the game. Spoilers, those severed ears are not just for show.
Oh. Here's the
it's not the only Diablo game we're talking about today. If you're looking for an authentic
mobile game,
Diablo
the mobile.
experience
I keep seeing the Immortal and I think mobile. Why don't they just call it Diablo Mobile?
Has
Why
everything
Mortal?
you expect from a AAA action RPG.
Triple A? I thought it was made by a Chinese company.
To an all-new story, bridging the gap between the events of Diablo 2 and Diablo 3.
Really?
Later today,
that's not how they originally described it. They just described it as a Diablo clone.
The recent alpha test and what's next for the game.
So what did they do? Go back and change it? Make it a better game?
One last bit of very exciting Diablo news to cover. When you hear us talk about the classes, the items, or the stories of the early Diablo games, you may have picked up on the absolute reverent tone we reserve for that golden era of Diablo. Maybe you share that love of the classics.
Oh, they're going to talk about it. Yeah, they're going to re-release Diablo 2.
Or Baal one more time. Or maybe even for the first time. After all, some of our favorite moments happened a long time ago, and not just in Sanctuary years. If so, we have a special surprise for you today.
It was leaked yesterday, by the way. Is it going to be Diablo 2 or the original Diablo? Should be Diablo 2.
Now you know what I seek, Marius. Release the demons from
Release the demon?
I'm not acceptable. Arise, Diablo, Lord of Terror.
20 years ago.
Though this be our darkest hour, it may yet be your greatest moment.
I hate how Blizzard. Let's see. I hate how Blizzard markets off of nostalgia. Yeah. Diablo 2? Yeah. Let me see if I can mute this thing. How do I mute it? Turn it out. Turn that down.
After more than 20 years, the Dark Wanderer has returned. And once again, he travels east. Always east.
I agree with you.
Diablo 2
and I think a lot of this is really just because it has become very easy for Blizzard to make a shit ton of money. Because all they've needed to do is they remake some old game. They take, like, for example, Diablo 2, or it was Warcraft 3. They can outsource, I think Diablo 3, not Diablo 3, but Warcraft 3 was outsourced to, like, a Chinese company. and they made a bunch of money off of it. So this looks like maybe they're going to use their own people and make it look like a really good game. So maybe they've learned their lesson that if they're going to re-release it, everybody expects it to be Blizzard quality re-release.
Blizzard has a long history of games.
But I agree with you about that. It's a way for them to make a quick $500 million, I guess.
A definitive pillar in our foundation. Now, it's funny to think that some of you weren't even born when D2 was released, which makes it all the more important that we deliver an authentic experience wherever you play. We want everyone to relive their memories or experience the game for the very first time on their platform of choice.
Right.
And so we're excited to bring Diablo 2 Resurrected to PC and console, along with cross-progression. And for those of you who are in love with the original, and you just wish it worked more seamlessly on modern computers, you can bring back all of that nostalgia exactly as you remember, and enjoy the game in its original 2D form, much like we did with StarCraft Remastered. Obviously, there's a lot to talk about. Later today, Diablo speedrunner Mr. Llama will host a roundtable
Mr. Llama?
members of the development team
Really?
on the dedicated Diablo channel.
I thought
If you
Mr.
are a
Llama
Diablo
was like
2
a guy who would
encourage
just
you to take a
raged on people all the time.
So, from Diablo 2 Resurrected
Yeah.
to Burning Crusade Classic
Yeah.
to the Blizzard Arcade Collection,
Yeah.
a whole lot of looking back. And while we have teams dedicated to bringing these timeless experiences,
I mean, again, I should say that I'm also glad it is good that they're doing this because a lot of people out there get a lot of work. So these developers and these designers and creators, they get they get jobs because these guys have decided to go back to redo these old games. So that's a good thing too. They hire a bunch of people to do the games.
and beyond. If you had
Overwatch.
asked us 30 years ago what gaming would look like today, none of us could have predicted the current Blizzard lineup of games. The advances in technology are one thing, but it's really what those advances have enabled that's even more incredible. If you think about the people who play games and the communities that have grown up around them, the way people
That's
can
cool.
connect instantly,
I'm glad
no
that
matter
I'm really glad that people are able to go out and have fun like that.
able to express
I'm glad because I think the world would really suck if everyone was kind of like me and they can't enjoy things. But to see people out there enjoying cosplaying and doing that kind of stuff and having fun, that's
it would have been
great.
hard to
That's really
imagine
great.
Any of that 30 years ago. And at Blizzard, that is what excites us about the next 30 years. There is so much that we're working on. And some of it you already know about. The rest, we look forward to talking to you about it when the time is right.
So we're not going to do Overwatch?
Just like the real world, the worlds of Warcraft, Diablo, StarCraft, Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch, and Hearthstone are diverse, expansive, and full of potential. We are not only
Well, the video games are
iterating
fake.
on the experiences that you've come to expect from us. We're also
Not real.
exploring different ways to express our worlds and welcome more players from more places into them. And we aspire to continue to lead on priorities like accessibility and toxicity control.
Yeah.
Continue supporting causes that have a positive impact on the real world.
Do you think that's really helped? Do you think that's helped Overwatch? The way they do that kind of stuff? I don't know if it's actually changed. I think Overwatch is really no different than any other competitive game.
Because when we geek out on those experiences with others, we can't help but see the similarities.
We need more players to buy our stuff.
Feel what's possible when we play
But
together.
it's this weird thing, right? Because
There are new Blizzard worlds that we haven't
Let's see.
visited quite yet. And when we do finally unveil
I guess
those
they're not going to do like a new game franchise or something. That'd be a little
is that
ridiculous to
you
ask
will
for.
see in them what we do.
Yeah, I don't think it's done anything, honestly. It's I mean, yeah, just disabled chat, right?
You can create new stories.
Because Blizzard is really that way where they're like, well, we'll ban you if you're toxic.
Of lasting a lifetime.
And I don't know if it actually changes anything. It doesn't make the games really better, you know? Because you meet more good people in Overwatch than you meet assholes, right? So if you meet one asshole out of an hour you playing online, if you just mute that person or like, you know, block them,
Thank you for being on this journey.
you know, there's always going to be jerks online. I've had women say incredibly sexual and insulting things to me, and I just mute them or just put them on block for a couple of days. Men and women, you know, it kind of goes up both ways.
So excited for what's to come this year, next year, and the next 30 years. Now, what's coming next for the show?
Yeah, Overwatch.
Well, it depends on where you watch. For those of you looking for an update on Overwatch, check out the behind-the-scenes look into the development of Overwatch 2 over on their dedicated channel right after the conclusion of opening ceremonies. There, you'll hear about Overwatch 2, new content, new features, including new maps, hero missions, talent trees, and more of what we think will make Overwatch 2 a unique gameplay experience.
No Overwatch till is not coming out this year.
You'll get a closer look on their
no Overwatch this year.
And on the dedicated strategy
no Overwatch 2 this year. But there's no way they're going to wait a whole year to give us a new hero. No way.
Once again, welcome to BlizzCon Line. Be good to one another.
Yep, there it is.
Welcome home.
Love each other and be good to one. That's what people need to say. Just try to be good to each other. Try to be good to everybody. Just try to be good. You don't have to be good.
Hey, thanks for having us. We're Metallica. Thanks for having us at BlizzCon 2014. We would love to be there this year, but obviously can't be.
Wow.
Oh,
shit.
Here we are.
The upcoming musical performance is subject to copyright protection? Oh, shit. It said it was for copyright protection. We thought Ball, better avoid that. We thought Ball was busted hero. They topped it off with Echo being more busted. Well, you know, they just nerfed Wrecking Ball. They've nerfed Wrecking Ball. They made it where his mines spread out further. They made it where when you pile drive, your character drops a lot faster. You get control of your character quicker. And they just nerfed him again, so when he hits you, you don't go as far. So they made it harder to knock people off of things. So they really did kind of nerf him. I guess we're going to wait. Yep. So we got about 4 minutes. So I've got, let me see, pull this up. So I think tomorrow I'm going to do Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator. I'm going to play some of that tomorrow morning. And, because tomorrow's Saturday. And hopefully the weather clears up. Guys, we've literally had 2 weeks of rain and cold weather. Like, it's shitty. Like, absolutely shitty. It's good to be, like, inside, but, man, it sucks. It really does suck. Yeah, I don't like this weather. What's really bad about this, Lulu, is I know, in my mind, I know that this is April. No, this is February. March and April, it's really going to start to warm up. And according to I was looking at the weather report, and in 1 week, we're going to be in the 70s. So we're literally going to go from the 40s in the morning or 40s during the day to 70s in the day. And then we're probably only about 2 or 3 weeks away from 80s and that kind of stuff. So it just kind of sucks that I've spent the last 2 weeks not able to kind of do anything because I can handle the cold, but I can't handle if it's raining and cold. Like, that doesn't help me any. So anyway, we're going to do Guilty Gear Xrd tomorrow, and I'm going to really, really just chillax and play that. We'll enjoy a delicious hot cup of coffee and do the tutorial and everything else. Then starting on Monday, we're going to do Mortal Kombat 11. No correlation between the new movie coming out. You guys want to watch that movie? Do we have time? No, I guess we don't have time. The trailer, I mean. Then after Mortal Kombat, I believe we're doing Soul Calibur 6. Then we're going to be doing Dead or Alive 6. And then we're going to do The King of Fighters 13. And then we're going to bounce around on Injustice 2. We're going to do Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Injustice 2. And then we'll just bounce around to different stuff, waiting for Guilty Gear Strive to come out on April the 9th. Let's see, February, March. I got a month yet. Yeah. Hopefully that Overwatch check, not Overwatch. Hopefully that that Twitch check, we'll get that next month, and I'll be able to pick up Guilty Gear 6. Did I say Guilty Gear 6? The fuck is wrong with me? Guilty Gear Strive. I feel really tired. I feel like I didn't get any sleep last night. Maybe I didn't get any sleep. I know I've been up since 3 a.m. I've been up since 3:30ish. That might be the reason. I don't know. My sleep schedule's kind of jacked up, because I get up. I had this bad habit of I wake up at 3 a.m. and I just get up. I don't roll over and go back to sleep. I'm like, well, fuck it. I'll just get up and get online and, watch some of this and do this and drink some coffee. So I get up at 3 a.m. That's why I used to stream at 7 o'clock in the morning, because I got up so damn early. I'm like, well, I'm up. I might as well stream. And everyone always thought that I was EU.
I'm king of the world! I'm king of the world!
Whoa! Little guy fell out.
For the Horde! For Lordaeron!
Ooh, he dropped some loot.
What can I do for you? 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 What can I do?
Your death will. Morta Vespa Gaia Inu.
Help! Help! Strike with great vengeance!
Warcraft 3. Maelstrom! Maybe they're about to do Overwatch.
You are not prepared!
Whoa!
Frostmourne hungers for your soul.
No! What was that? Oh, wow.
Your time has come.
Some bullshit. Yeah, Carbot is awesome. Yeah, Carbot's pretty cool. That's one of those things that you start watching on YouTube and like an hour later goes by. Like you've been watching Carbot for like an hour. Diablo 3.
Whoa! 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 No!
Ooh, butterfly.
Strange.
Greetings to you. Seems you're ready for the real thing.
Let me go to Diablo real quick. Make sure I see what we got. Okay. Halo!
Hey, look at me!
Oh, looks like we got an audience.
I'm getting good at this. I am in the groove.
Turret online.
Oh shit.
Surprise! Piece of cake.
So Overwatch, are they trying to say that Overwatch killed Blizzard? Because everybody was having fun. Yeah, I saw the 6 turrets. Somebody hasn't played Overwatch in a while. Day! Now I'm OCD. I want to make sure I'm on Overwatch. Okay, I'm on Overwatch. It should be starting. Start up. Let's see it. They're going to... BlizzCon. Blizzc Online. Blizzc Online or BlizzCon Line. Blizzard 30th anniversary. Uh-oh, here we go. Here we go. New heroes.
Welcome everybody
Ah,
to BlizzCon.
it's Uncle Jeff.
We know that you all want to hear more about Overwatch
Hey, Jeff.
2. Allow us to invite you behind the scenes to explain more of what we're doing and why.
Everybody, please hit record. Fingers crossed. We lost Scott.
It's off to a good start.
This is going great.
We've been assembling one of the best teams that I have ever worked with.
I'm nervous.
And I'm so proud of the progress that we have made together.
We really liked the stylized drop down.
Imagine that it's coming forward, boom, boom, this starts to spin.
The scale and the scope of this game have meant that we've needed to grow substantially.
We have to...
Sorry. Let me start over.
Overall, I think we've done incredibly well as a team moving to work from home.
Oh, shadow play. There have definitely been challenges, but the team is really putting everything we've got behind this game.
To me, it's the next big step in the Overwatch universe.
You've never been this happy to see
game
Jeff?
modes, major story beats.
With competitive and PvE, I see Overwatch 2 as the Overwatch for all of my friends.
You know, we're always inspired by what story and franchise development does with the animated shorts. We really wanted to bring that cinematic experience into the game.
You can invest in your heroes and grow them over time. I'm super geeked out about Overwatch 2.
I can't wait for people to play this game. It just gets better and better.
There are some things that we just can't do without a sequel.
Whoa! Okay, I like that.
So
Okay,
thank
that's
you
kinda cool.
so much
That's
for your
kinda cool.
patience so far, and I hope you enjoy this behind-the-scenes look.
The skill tree is only for the PvE part. It's only for the PvE part, not PvP.
All of our players at home, they want to see one of the new maps that we've never talked about before.
Really, I can just talk about anything that I want to.
Yes.
You're serving this up to the guy that is like unintentionally leaked information in past interviews.
You can do it officially now.
Okay, so one of the maps that I'm most excited for in Overwatch 2 is our Rome map.
Rome.
We always want Overwatch to feel like this globe-trotting adventure for our players. So we're having a lot of fun coming up with the Overwatch version of Rome.
We wanted a very romantic, sort of this powerful feeling of old world architecture.
Payload.
One of the most exciting things for me is the early building of these maps, where we get to sit down together with key people from the environment team, level designers, effects groups. We'll spend some time talking about moments in the game that we really want to see, like the Colosseum or a grand view of the hills of Rome in the backdrop. And then we'll go back and do a paint over, or we'll do a concept painting of certain things based on that.
We try to draw inspiration from as many different sources as possible. For example, one of our environment artists had just taken a trip to Rome, and he returned with thousands of pictures and was so excited
we stopped
to work
the train this
on
time?
a map set in Italy.
There's a lot of ancient architecture in Rome that represents the empire that it used to be. So we brought some of that back. Some of the things that are destroyed in real life, we kind of rebuilt in a kind of an Overwatch style.
It's one of the most beautiful pieces of environment art that I think we've made for the entire game, and it just absolutely took my breath away.
Can we reveal more maps?
Yes, Scott. Scott, why don't you have the honor? Why don't you reveal, like, is there an artified, like, let's pick an artified one.
I know what map I want to talk about. It's the one that I just get super excited about. New York City. New York City is just an amazing Overwatch location.
Really?
We're really striving to make it as authentic as possible while still putting this Overwatch spin on it.
There's a lot of amazing buildings and architecture pieces that just, especially for artists, stands out a lot. And they usually use this kind of Art Deco style from the 1920s, 1950s.
We started in an area that's a little bit like Village. There's some smaller shops there. There's a fire station, little pizza places, and things that people that are familiar with New York City will either recognize or maybe see the reference that we're trying to make with some of our different locations.
This might be for
like something you
for
haven't
PvE.
seen in other games
I'm not
before
sure.
because it's uniquely
No, they said it was PvP.
Overwatch.
And hello, Jade. How you doing?
Well, we should move on. Otherwise, we just have to reveal more maps. So we were talking about PvP. And, you know, one thing that I think is really interesting about PvP in Overwatch 2 is some of the philosophical changes we're making to the approach.
PvP feels different and new. We're upgrading our combat feel. The roles are playing differently. When it comes to all new maps, it's a pretty big departure from where we are on live right now. So I can't wait to see where we end up with it by the time we launch this thing.
We're also experimenting with the idea we call role passives, which are passive abilities that a hero can have based on what role they are. For example, currently in our internal builds, the tank heroes all have knockback reduction against them, and they also generate less ultimate charge for enemies that are shooting at them. Damage dealing heroes have a movement speed bonus, which is great for flanking around the map. And healing heroes, support heroes have automatic healing that kicks in after they haven't taken damage for a while, very similar to Mercy's passive, but a little bit of a lower rate.
One of the more shocking changes that we've been exploring in Overwatch 2 PvP is a change to the tank role entirely. That's applied to all of the tanks. We want to try to make them more toe-to-toe brawlers and less characters that just stand back and protect other people.
So, for example, for Reinhardt, we've given him 2 charges of Fire Strikes, so he can throw Fire Strikes a lot more aggressively and more often. Also, his charge, he's able to cancel it now, and you can steer it more aggressively, so you can, you know, not quite turn a corner, but you can definitely more accurately pin targets. And because you can cancel it, it allows you to use it much more aggressively and, you know, really go after those key targets.
This is PvP they're talking about.
You know, all of your positioning, everything to get there.
What?
He's almost more terrifying now with this, be able to unleash his full arsenal more often than kind of just being the guy with a shield.
The changes to Reinhardt that we're trying, and they might not ship. That's just the reality.
Yeah, this is PvP.
But the changes that we're trying right now are to try to embrace more of that instinct that players have when they want to play a big burly character that looks aggressive and feels like it should be aggressive.
Holy shit. So he can steer his charge
Shortly
and he
after
can
BlizzCon,
stop
we-
his
We
charge.
spun up this group.
So
our
you can
combat
charge
field
through,
group,
stop
to
your charge,
really
turn,
just
and
work
shatter.
on what happens
did 2 fire strikes.
when a player holds the trigger.
We're putting a ton of effort into looking at all of our characters and trying to give them even a more visceral weapon feel.
From sound to VFX to animation to the design of these units, all new sounds for a lot of our weapons in the game, and a whole new sound system that's driving it. And
Really?
we didn't just level up a unit, we leveled up the rest of the game.
When we first started working
Oh,
on Overwatch,
that's a new hero.
We spent quite a bit of
That
time
was a new
working
hero.
on gunfire sounds and just general combat feel to make it feel really awesome. We're revisiting pretty much everything. Nothing's off the table, so we're looking at even kind of small things such as quick melee attacks that every hero has. So they have kind of new audio pass and a new kind of feel and visual effect when you hit things.
One of the bigger efforts we're undertaking for Overwatch 2 is what we're calling our Weapon 2.0 Sound Pass. What this is a big overhaul to the weapon systems in the game. That means the way the gun feels in your hands. You could feel the ammo running out as you're getting lower on the clip. We've really tried to amplify those sounds to better encapsulate the gameplay and the gunplay that comes with Overwatch 2. Another key for the weapons was getting them to feel like they're in the environment. This meant working with Convolution Reverb. It's a new system that we've implemented into Overwatch. It's a way that we can capture the acoustics of an environment and transport it onto the sounds that we're using. So we went and captured tales of guns in different environments through our weapon shoots. And then we've cut them and applied it so that we can support a lot more environments. Now we're supporting outdoor, urban outdoor, warehouse tales, tight tunnels, small rooms, and it gives a lot more presence to the weapons and the way that they react in the world.
The shooter genre has evolved a lot since Overwatch 1 came out. On top of that, I think we really want to push the visceral nature of how we do combat.
That guy kind of looks like an Overwatch character.
The wonderful sound effects.
Is it just
but
me?
Also with
He kind
how
of
the
is that guy
gun
real?
moves
He
as
doesn't
you
look
shoot.
real.
You know, so you can really feel every single shot.
He
leaving
does
the
not
chamber.
look real.
And there's a lot of subtle little tweaks we have to do on the gameplay engineering side to make that feel really visceral. Everything from making sure that
I'm not being
the
an
camera shakes are
asshole,
crisp,
but that
making
dude
sure that
looks-
if you get
that
shot,
did
you
not
know
look real.
exactly these tight indicators.
does not
show
look
up
real.
outside of your reticle. All these things play into making the game feel not just tight and responsive, but also modern and up to date. Take
That dude could have
76,
been
for
CG.
example. What we wanted to do in Overwatch 2 with his weapon was make it really feel incredibly powerful, and that happens with a bunch of different elements that mix together. But it really feels like the gun is almost just outside of your control. A lot of that comes down to this camera shake technology, where every time you fire the weapon, you want to
camera
feel
shake.
like it's running through your entire body, and the camera shake gives that extra bite to every single shot out of the chamber. It makes him feel really great.
You guys got a sneak peek of Sojourn from last BlizzCon. She's been under development for quite a while, and she's actually quickly at this point become a lot of people's favorites in-house.
So she's a DPS.
When we look back at Overwatch when it was originally created, there was a lot of heroes that were made from a gameplay standpoint kind of surrounding
Now she's
a weapon
DPS,
type. For
right? example,
example, Farah was based on a rocket launcher hero. Widowmaker is clearly like kind of the sniper.
I saw that, yeah.
We thought there was a weapon that was kind of missing that would be a lot of fun to play with, and that's a railgun. It's so much fun in the playtest to have this really powerful shot that can, rip through enemies if you really are accurate with it. And she's all about that aim
Wow.
skill. So if you got that aim skill, you'll love her.
We're still exploring
Wow.
new game
A lot of that
modes.
looked really
And
cool.
we're
The
also
Reinhardt stuff really looked
reevaluating
great.
Older game modes.
We have to
that
wait a
people are
year
more
to play it.
critical of.
A year.
We're of the mindset maybe 2CP doesn't exist in Overwatch 2, and maybe there's a new cool game mode that replaces it. We really want Overwatch 2 to feel like the next evolution, a true sequel to the first game, not an add-on. It's not a small part. It's not an extension of the original game. This is an evolution and a replacement to the original game.
They should not
And I
have
think it's
called it
exciting.
Overwatch 2. They should have come up with something else. Overwatch 2.
Hero missions are probably one
It's
of
a
the
bad
things
name.
that's the hardest to wrap your head around if you've never played one of them.
The goal around hero missions is for these to be this co-op PvE experience.
I personally only play competitive mode. Like, I'm all about that competition. And I have friends that they don't want to do that at all. So I'm really looking forward to a game that I can play hours and hours with my friends who aren't in competitive. And it's also something that I'm interested in.
Hero missions are the content that people are playing as they are leveling up their heroes. And so for a system like this to really sing, you need a lot of mission. We don't want players to feel like they're just in this grind to get to the top.
And there's a lot of really, really good back-end technology that we're exploring so that the heroes are constantly bringing their personality and some light story to these hero missions as well.
The goal is to make as many as possible, hundreds of hero missions. We've explored a lot of different ways of getting to that much content. Still have like different sets of enemy units that people will be fighting against, and there's different hero mission types. At the same time, hero missions can take place in all of the multiplayer maps that we've done, and we're also adding new spaces onto some of these maps.
It's a huge challenge for the art team. We take maps that a lot of people love and recognize, and we have to add a lot more art and level design to it.
In this one hero mission playtest, we came up to an area in King's Row that usually has a gate on it. Suddenly that gate opened and I saw a new area of King's Row that I had never seen before.
You may be playing a payload game type, and the payload may decide to take this new route instead of going the usual route.
That was really, really cool. It was like this eye-opening special moment.
Lan, our lead tech artist on the environment side, very early on our own free time, made a prototype of a sandstorm on the Temple of Anubis map.
And at the time, we didn't know what we wanted to do with that, but it looked awesome.
We looked at it and went, oh my God, we absolutely have to do this.
So we put some new technology in place that allows us to do this dynamically. You start the mission off, clear day. Midway through the mission, suddenly this sandstorm or heavy weather would show up.
It made the world just feel so much more alive.
There's a sunset, daytime, nighttime, but depending on where you are in the world, these look different. California or Hollywood would have what we call a California sun. In New Bonny, there's a great African sun that happens there. You sort of get a sense of space and mood. This is what really brings the levels to life.
I had to.
The dynamic world's exciting.
Can you look at a map?
That was my mother. She calls me. She normally calls around, I think 7. It must be around 7 o'clock. Okay, it's 6:30. So she normally calls around 6:37 just to tell me how her day was and everything.
Clearly.
Are we going to talk about any of
Oh my God.
types of types of objectives in hero missions?
Yeah, let's talk about the objectives. Players are being asked to do different things from one hero mission to the next so that they all feel really fresh to the player.
For example, we have Gather and Return, where you're trying to go and grab these different canisters to kind of safeguard them so they don't go off and affect the population in a negative way. It creates this really cool tension in the world where on the one hand you're trying to split up and go grab all these canisters to be as efficient as possible, but at the same time now you're having these sort of special enemy units spawn that are really difficult, and if you kind of get caught by yourself, it turns into a pretty bad situation really quickly, and it feels extremely cooperative and like a very different way to interact with the Overwatch universe.
We're experimenting with all sorts of ideas, and just internally we have names like Wall of Death, Scavenger Hunt, and Kill Quest, and all these new mechanics and enemies for people to experience. Players will be able to jump in night after night, play different hero missions, and then work through the progression system, leveling up their heroes.
Kill Quest, kill 20 reds.
At BlizzCon in 2019, we started to talk about progression, and we showed the very early version.
So, I mean, it's cool. It is really cool. The changes to PvP, the idea of just that is a way to solve the issue with tanks. Everybody knows that there's a problem with tanking in the game. that as a tank, you feel like all you're doing is you're just kind of sitting there and you're holding a shield or you're trying to block your team. So if they basically just go ahead and say, okay, you're a brawler. Go out there and beat the hell out of somebody. Yeah, Soldier. Yeah, I saw that. Soldier grew a beard. That's great. So what you guys are seeing right now is the PvE content. So the things that you see, like this kind of stuff, the May rolling, and that kind of stuff. That's PvE, or that's PvE questing and stuff. There's a new map for Toronto, though. I grew up and lived in Toronto. Yeah, I like the New York and the Rome maps. That's pretty cool.
Area effect res their whole team at once at super long range through walls. It's been a ton of fun, kind of like mad scientists making all this stuff. You're all used to using these.
There's that cartoon character looking dude. That's wild. I like the idea of Reinhardt being able to stop his charge. I wonder about Orisa. I wonder about Diva. Like, is Diva going to get an overhaul similar to Reinhardt? Yeah. Yeah, I like the new UI. I like the new UI. It looks pretty cool.
As a huge RPG nerd myself, the first time I opened up the talent tree systems, it was like, oh my gosh.
I mean, that's fine. I that's cool that they do that. I'm sure there's also going to be some type of costumes that they're going to implement that you'll be able to unlock while doing the PvE content. Because there's got to be some reason to do it.
And then you start working and kind of planning how you're going to get down there. It's like, it's so fun.
When we look back,
the UI looks kind of basic. The talent tree, XX gains plus 5%.
That we had, one of them as a development team that we felt.
Well, just remember that's just for the PvE
was
stuff.
Just not engaging enough. So the fact that our combat wasn't highly engaging to us as
well, how do you? That's it. Oh, did I hit the? Oh no. Wait, hold on. Hold on.
Discovery is where things aren't working how we want.
I hit the mouse button. No, what the hell was I going to say? Oh, yeah. How do you make a game? How do you make a game where your target is an evil robot and it's not a bullet sponge? Question. So I'm supposed to kill all that stuff, but isn't all that stuff technically a bullet sponge that I'm just going to sit there and shoot until it's dead, just like Destiny 2? Destiny 2 is basically you go out and you fight these creatures, and you just shoot them, reload, shoot them, reload, and then they die. So how do you make that cool? How do you make that fun?
And so it's a different type of spawning, and it's a different type of units that are in there, and it's a simpler objective.
There's a lot of units Aaron is talking about. Lots of different units, lots of different types. They serve different purposes. You do different things to them. It's really going to help a lot of us find the fun and make sure that Overwatch 2 is a blast.
One of those sets of
that would be kind of hard.
Is what we internally call objective units, and they're typically units that don't even attack players. The simplest version would be something like
the Breacher Ideation.
This huge bomb on its back. It was built to do one thing: slowly and methodically march towards its objective.
That's scary.
And then it transforms, and the bomb opens up like a flower. It starts spinning and charging up, and you hear this awesome sound, and you know you have a little bit of time before it's going to explode, and you have to take it out.
We have units like the slicers, which you guys have seen before. They're little, we call them the chickens, little chicken sometimes. They run really fast. We have a guy we're experimenting with right now who flies and drops these bombs that create these kind of ever-expanding smoke fields that you have to escape from, but because they're super deadly. So you really get to use your mobility options to kind of escape that.
There's things like the polar. You could be moving through these darker alleys, and as soon as you hear that polar spawn, it suddenly becomes like really spooky and kind of scary.
This very tall, elegant-looking character that's blindfolded, 3 orbs that circle around her as her eyes, and we basically spun those orbs around her head as a big tell, launched them at the player, and then it activates this tractor beam, and it's bringing you in, and then you get this awesome anticipation of the hair opening up so you know what's about to happen.
One thing we've just recently been experimenting with is this idea of elite units. We didn't want the elite units to feel like they're just, oh, this guy's got double health and double damage. We want to make sure the elite units feel like they have different behaviors and have different attacks. So, for example, an Omnic Grunt, normally he fires his gun, he dies pretty simply. If you fight elite grunts, his weapon fires in a burst fire pattern. It's very deadly if you're close. And if you manage to take them out, they don't just die right away. They instead can crawl on the ground towards you, and you try to back away because if they get to you, they can explode.
Wow.
Artillery at BlizzCon. We're all just staring at this, and we're like, what are we going to do to level this up?
One of the things we really felt wasn't coming through was the damage states. We intend for players to shoot these guns off, but currently
change
it's not reading as
make them
something
look
that
different.
Can happen in the game easily.
Super jump.
We change the design, we change the animation, and we go back and forth and just continually iterate.
We decided, hey, you know what? We're gonna just delete half of these damage states, so now it's super readable.
From an animation standpoint, we decided on the spinning barrel version. Just did this really nice kickback. The tip of the barrel opens up when it's about to fire and shifts into place and boom!
It's really amazing to be fighting an artillery unit and you can see the guns on the side, and as you're shooting the guns, they're actually visibly taking damage, and then
that's pretty
you
cool.
can blow them off and it reacts and kind of stumbles to the side, and really makes you feel like you're there, and it's super fun.
In a lot of the stuff we've showed so far, you're fighting null sector. These are evil killing machines intent on marching you down. The way you're going to stop them is by shooting them, and we want to make sure that feels responsive, and visceral. Really making sure that when they take a hit, it feels like their whole body has been punched, almost like hit by a truck. That's what really sells this fantasy that you're playing these superheroes. One of the cool pieces of technology that we created was what we call chain hit reactions. Oftentimes you'll find null sector
wow, that's
bunched
pretty
up,
cool.
marching maybe a half a dozen
Like a rag doll.
You expect if you shoot one, they're gonna knock into their buddies. So we make that happen. Turns out it's really fun too.
Yeah. New hero looks. Here we go. Here we go.
Showed last year at BlizzCon was the new looks for our heroes. The theory kind of going in was like, you want to preserve the essence of your hero, but also kind of show that that hero's evolved and kind of changed.
He's the character art director.
We have a lot more new looks, so I'm excited to see how players and fans react to all of the ones that we've done so far.
Let's see.
Maybe we'll share some of those new looks today, which would be cool.
Why the fuck wouldn't you show us? Why are they acting like it's such a secret?
And we're really excited to show off some of
That's
our
so irritating that they act like, oh, well, maybe we will show you. Just show us.
A little bit about technical
Maybe it's just because I'm an old person, but I get so tired of that. Just show us.
Very techie fabrics, as well as having very intricate but functional straps designed in a way that it's very aesthetically pleasing. With McCree, we took a couple different approaches. He's got this classic cowboy look that it's really hard to mess with, because if you try to make him too sophisticated or too techie, it might not feel right for the character.
That's true.
As a concept artist, you always want to change things around and try different shapes and silhouettes. So we did identify as Red Serape as the main thing for McCree.
Yeah.
We also tried a couple different things with McCree's cowboy hat. We didn't really want to mess with that too much because that's a very iconic part of him. So that's another.
Looks cool, baby. Looks cool.
We tried some retro cowboy looks that mixed in some tech.
That looks good.
Some that were a little bit more techie than others. Some that were a little bit more classic cowboy. We gave him a little bit of a longer beard.
Yes, boy.
A nice kind of like a more aged look.
Yes.
What's different about Farah than some of our other heroes is Farah's completely covered in armor. We didn't want to change her silhouette too much. It was more about experimenting on different colors. So it felt really appropriate for her to be the one to harken.
I wonder
back
how this
to
will
Overwatch colors.
how this will affect the
One of the
skins.
things that we wanted to update on Farah was her visor. Instead of being completely opaque and reflective, we tried a little bit more of a transparent approach, and being able to see through it a little bit now.
Reaper
allows
looks
us to see
basic.
some more of her emotions. Reaper was actually the ones I was very excited to work on, because
Ah.
I could see a lot of potential in how we can integrate his cloak and his cowl and his armor, and how we can make all those shapes really sing within that classic, Reaper silhouette. We tried a couple takes with the first pass, like completely silver arms, more layers to his jacket. Reaper's mask is obviously pretty sacred to us, but the thing you'll notice immediately is that it's now completely silver.
That looks like a model. That doesn't even look like an in-game character. That looks like a 3D printed model. That looks really good.
With Widowmaker, we started with the idea stage, exploring a breadth of ideas. We tried things like a more insectoid approach, treasure hunter.
Don't do that, though.
One of them made her feel like a classic Bond villain, so we kind of steered it back towards one of the more cyberpunk-looking ones, almost like a futuristic femme fatale, which is basically what Widowmaker is, but she even feels more upgraded, so I'm super glad that we went
that
down
looks
this
really
route.
good.
We played with different hairstyles.
Really
too.
incredible.
Widowmaker has the really long ponytail that's really key part of her look, and really liked the hairstyle on one of the designs that was more braid, and it was really interesting look. That
I
also
do like that.
preserves
That looks
Widowmaker's
really
original
good.
silhouette with that long ponytail.
We've been working a lot with our domino engine and making our cloth look better. Now that we have this cloth tech, we're going to be able to make some really cool, unique silhouettes that will help them stand
that looks cool.
out from other heroes. We put a lot of time and effort into our face rig, and what I mean by that is we're going to be able to get really close to these characters, and it's going to feel really cool. It is absolutely worth the time and the effort.
Maybe they haven't worked on DV yet.
And that way we can make these characters do more things that we haven't really been able to do before.
It's been super exciting working on the new looks for Overwatch 2, and it's just been so inspiring to watch the team try things that we've never tried before, and I just can't wait to show up more in the future.
Story development.
Overwatch 2 is probably the largest opportunity we've had since the inception of the franchise. Players. In 0 Hour, we saw that some of the heroes got back together, but we're all together. But we're also seeing that there seems to be a second huge Omnic uprising. We're going to learn who's behind that uprising, why that's happening, how globally spread is it.
The story and franchise development
storyboards.
group, they were really the torchbearers of what the big story is that we were going to
she's
tell
a kind of
for
a.
this game.
Oh, she's got robotic
We have a lot
legs.
of interaction with them. They're working on in-game cinematic intros and outros for every one of our story missions.
It's been really great to see this collaboration grow and develop. The story is just a little more integrated into our missions than it ever really has been before. All the available heroes get dialogue for a given mission. We have NPCs. We have multiple hero choices.
We have all sorts of events that are happening that are driving players to interact with each other or parts of the environment or other characters.
The world of Overwatch is this bright, shiny future.
Toronto.
So how do you take that bright, shiny future and create conflict in it? How dark can the world of Overwatch go?
The different challenges that these characters are going to have to overcome in Overwatch.
Those are
2
some dead bodies
are
on the
things
floor.
that they
Maybe they were
haven't
dead
ever
bodies. I don't know.
dealt
I
with
saw that
before or
sexual
dealt with
tension.
on this scale. So
Oh,
what we
Reinhardt
had to do
and
was
Sojourn?
literally strip it down to this bare
Maybe.
bones of where are these characters in their lives. Overwatch has been disbanded, and now there's a situation where the world's in trouble again, and the world needs the heroes again, but they're not allowed to be doing what they were supposed to be doing.
We started to book these off-site locations so we could brainstorm over and over different versions of what the Overwatch 2 story campaign could be.
And we basically had these whiteboards that we were carting around everywhere.
The room was filled with whiteboards, and we would just write every day story beats with the characters and who was doing what and where.
Maybe you're right, Lulu. That maybe that's
These
true.
giant sticky notes, and each one of them would be a mission with
There's
a bunch
the
of notes
father
on it.
and the
You know,
daughter
somebody
working
say,
together.
Well, what if we moved Rio to the end and they'd physically grab it off the wall and stick it on the end?
And we did this for a while, until we all felt that it was pretty close to what we wanted.
Then we could send it to our writers' rooms. The writers' rooms then had a much clearer direction of where we wanted this process to go.
Ultimately, we come up with something that we think is right for the game, and then we pitch it back to the game team, and they point out everything that we missed.
And that allows us to actually back up and
Yeah.
go and make it right and make it better.
Because the scale of this story is so huge, it takes place over the whole world, basically. It just requires a constant iteration, constant refinement to make the story as best as we can make it.
From writing, we go to storyboards. The storyboards get crafted with the edit. From there, it'll go to a previs department where they'll start to flesh it out in 3D. Once we've kind of figured out our camera work and our cinematography, that'll then go to the animation department. And then we end up going right into the game engine.
Wow.
One of our challenges
Whoa!
was
No.
to figure out how to integrate this story and this narrative.
That was
with
interesting.
the
That was an
game.
interesting.
So if the intro cinematic ends with this huge
Back and
battle,
forth.
this huge war, when you get into the game, it has to mesh and feel the exact same way and blend together.
We really are also trying to get the music to be equally as consistent from in-game cinematics straight through to the mission. Adam Burgess, our lead composer, has been working with the IGC team, with the game team, developing themes for all of the heroes, all of the locations.
As the cinematic director, whatever we're crafting should never override the gameplay. We want to make sure that the player's experience going from the cinematic to the gameplay is seamless and it feels like a completely immersive experience.
The engineers, we have to find a way to actually make that come to fruition. The choreo tool is a tool that allows people to coordinate different events to happen at the same time. Like in Rio, if you played our demo, one of the buildings explodes, and so
no,
that
I've
kind of
never
event
played a
needs
demo.
to happen as you're running by, and you need to have it timed, because if it blows up too early, then you don't see it. It allows story moments in missions that interact with the environment, that interact with our characters.
The new tech, the new abilities that we have now are allowing us to push our storytelling farther than we could have previously.
What's also really powerful about choreo is that, you know, if somebody has an idea, they can mock things up really quickly.
We got to show the Widowmaker making this awesome introduction. And Casey was able to quickly put a really rough prototype in choreo. And Philip would come in and on the fly, he's making quick changes. They play tested something that would normally take weeks. It was done in like a matter of days.
Each story mission has its own custom map built for it, and these maps are absolutely gigantic.
India is one of our biggest maps. And
So they're
it's a
kind
fun
of-
map because it has a few.
They're acting like this is going to be just a huge big game. Like tons of story, huge environments. And they haven't talked about a price, but they're kind of acting like this is going to be its own full-fledged game. Now, again, you don't have to buy this. You're still going to get the upgrades, the new characters, the heroes, the new maps. You're still going to get all that for PvP, but I'm sure there's got to be some reason you'll want to buy this, even if you're not that, like, am I really into running maps and killing bots? I don't know. I think it looks cool, though.
Dynamic snowstorm. So as you make your way through the level, the snow is slowly building up. Suddenly by the end, the characters are caught in this gigantic snowstorm and they must fight their way through.
In Overwatch 2, we want to give you choice to be able to play
As soon
this
as
character or
they,
that character.
as soon as they said Overwatch 2, that made everybody think that Overwatch 1 was over and they were just going to make Overwatch 2. Like with CS:GO, there was a like CS:GO 1. I think it was 1.6, which was what everybody was playing at the time, and then Overwatch Counter-Strike? Not Counter-Strike Global Offensive came out, and people stopped. You basically you had to get the new game to play the competitive part because nobody was going to be playing the old 1.6 version anymore, right? Even though you still can, it wasn't like a legitimate thing. So that's kind of how like people felt. People felt like, oh man, they're going to leave us behind.
I wish people could see how many people are involved when it comes to something like telling the story of Overwatch. It doesn't just come from a singular person. It comes from a group, and it's a really talented, fun group that all works together.
We've been developing what we hope is one of the best stories ever. There's some key story moments that I'm really excited about, and I really can't wait to see how people react to it.
In conclusion,
We've been talking about the game, about this universe. I know you all love it so much.
Right now, we can sit down and have a night of Overwatch 2 and have it be a really fun experience. And I think we need some more time till we can say it's perfectly polished in the way that we want it.
We've made such incredible strides since we first announced this and showed it to the community at Blizzcon in 2019.
The thing that I'm most excited about is that moment when we hand the game over to the players.
We want to create something that really moves people, really touches people.
That's why we do it. We create the game because we want it to become part of your life and for you to experience it.
For Overwatch 2, we're upping the bar.
It's kind of 5 games in one. It's a huge undertaking.
the new tech and the new aesthetics for the new looks bring you closer to the characters that you love, and we're just getting started.
The fidelity of the gameplay experience is much richer.
We are making cinematics that push the boundary of what we can do to tell stories.
We want this dynamic world. We want things to feel alive.
I'm really looking forward to being able to expand the world of Overwatch for our players.
We're really trying to tell this epic story.
In order to make a game great, it takes time, energy, collaboration.
We have just an incredibly professional team of designers and artists and engineers.
We just love bringing this world to you guys. So many cool characters. It's just a blast working on it.
Our goal is for Overwatch 2 to be the worthy successor to the first game, to be the next evolution, and to be a true sequel.
We have big plans, so thank you for sticking with us.
We're gonna cross the finish line, and I know it's gonna be awesome.
I hope people just end up loving playing it over and over.
That's what we want to try and capture. I'm jumping in, I'm playing, let's go be heroes.
Well, there you go. There's not going to be any Overwatch this year at all. Well, that was it. Let's see. They got behind the scenes. The next is going to be the voices. Oh, there's that skin. So the next one is going to be the Voices of Overwatch. There you go. Yep. Voices of Overwatch.
is a proud partner of BlizzCon Line. Watch Shock vs. the World in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, only in the Dolby Access app.
Cool.
Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of BlizzCon Line.
So,
Who's ready for some fireworks?
You'll like this one.
Greetings. Our fates are entwined.
Year of the Ox.
Rally at my position. I feel unstoppable.
The best gets better. Let me show you how it's done.
Turning up the heat. I'm ready. Give me your best shot.
새해 복 많이 받으세요. You can't catch me.
I've got you in my sights.
Now we're moving.
It ain't mine, ain't it, I?
Lights out. I've still got it.
Okay. Guys, that's it for me. That's it for me. I'm done. All that's really cute and everything. So, I mean, I think that's pretty much everything that we've kind of expected. I really liked what they were going to do with the tanks, about how they're going to make tanks less I gotta protect you and more I'm going to go and just be a big brawling brute of a person. So now, I mean, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. It's a shame we got to wait a whole year, but